Hello, everybody. Welcome to another enlightening episode of Powerful Views, where we explore themes that offer us profound insights for our daily lives. I'm your host, Karan Gandhi. In our 26th episode, I'm going to talk about 6 takeaways from a book that turns influence from a mysterious skill into something natural, human, and surprisingly fun. The book is Influence is Your Superpower by Zoe Chance. Zoe Chance, a Yale professor, takes us inside the psychology of persuasion, showing how influence isn't about manipulation or tricks, it's about connection, confidence, and creating win win outcomes. By the end of today's episode, you'll walk away with 6 powerful takeaways from this book, along with practical examples to help you become more influential in your career, relationships, and everyday life. At its core, Influence is Your Superpower is all about using psychology and behavioral science to ethically persuade others. Zoe Chance argues that we often underestimate our ability to influence and that influence is not about power plays or control. It's about creating trust and aligning interests. The book is filled with real world research, classroom experiments, and personal stories, all tied together with humor and empathy. Whether you want to negotiate better, ask for a raise, or simply get your kids to eat their vegetables, Chance shows how influence can be a superpower. Now, let's break down the 6 key takeaways from this incredible book, each with practical examples you can relate to. Takeaway 1: Influence begins with believing you deserve to ask. Many of us hesitate to ask for what we want because we fear rejection. But Zoe Chance emphasizes that influence starts with the courage to make the ask clearly and confidently. For example, imagine you're at work and you want to pitch a new project idea. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, you simply and clearly say, I'd love to take the lead on this because I believe I can bring fresh energy and results. More often than not, people respect clarity and initiative. You influence nothing if you ask for nothing. Start by believing you deserve to make the ask. Takeaway 2: The magic of the easy yes. Zoe introduces the idea of lowering the barrier to agreement. Instead of overwhelming people with big asks, frame requests in a way that feels easy, natural, and safe to say yes to. For example, a charity campaign doubled its success rate by simply asking, Would you be willing to help, even with a single dollar? That tiny shift removed pressure, and once people said yes to $1, many gave much more. Make it easy for others to say yes. Influence grows when you remove obstacles to agreement. Takeaway 3: The power of warmth over competence. We often think people are influenced by how smart or how capable we seem. But research shows that warmth and likability often matter more than raw competence. People want to help those they like and trust. For example, consider 2 job candidates. One has a stellar resume but comes across as cold and arrogant, while the other is warm, curious, and collaborative. Time again and again, the second candidate tends to win the offer, even if slightly less experienced. To influence others, focus less on proving yourself and more on building connection. Lead with warmth. Takeaway 4: Stories are more persuasive than facts. Data appeals to the brain, but stories capture the heart. Influence requires moving both. For example, when trying to raise awareness for a health campaign, instead of showing only statistics about how many children need clean water, sharing the story of one child, her name, her village, her struggle, resulted in far more donations. People empathize with individual, not numbers. If you want people to act, don't just throw facts at them. Tell them a compelling story that makes it human. Takeaway 5: Influence is about energy and attention. People are influenced not just by words, but by energy. Your presence, how engaged, confident, and attentive you are, shapes the room more than you think. For example, picture two managers delivering feedback. One is distracted, glancing at emails and rattling off generic points. The other looks you in the eye, leans in, and genuinely acknowledges your strengths before offering guidance. Whose feedback would you take seriously? Influence flows from presence. When you give people your full attention, you create impact. Takeaway 6. Frame negotiations as partnerships, not battles. We often think of negotiation as a tug of war. Zoe Chance reframes it as collaboration, finding a shared win. The language you use can shift the whole dynamic. For example, instead of saying, I need a raise because I deserve more, you might say, I'd love to talk about aligning my compensation with the value I'm bringing and the goals we're working toward. This frames the ask as part of a shared mission, not a personal demand. Influence works best when people feel like you're on their team, not against them. So, why does this book matter? Because too often people shy away from influence. They think it's manipulative or they assume they don't have enough power to make a difference. But Zoe Chan shows that every interaction, from how you greet someone to how you ask for help, is an opportunity to influence. Let's recap the six big takeaways from this book. Takeaway 1. Believe you deserve to ask. 2. Make saying yes easy. 3. Lead with warmth, not just competence. 4. Use stories to move hearts. 5. Influence flows from energy and attention. And finally, 6. Frame negotiations as partnerships. If you start practicing even one or two of these, you'll begin to see how much more influence you already have than you realize. As Zoe Chance reminds us, influence is your superpower. Not because you can manipulate outcomes, but because you can create connection, inspire trust, and make things happen. So, the next time you hesitate to ask for something, remember this: influence doesn't belong to powerful people, it belongs to anyone who's willing to connect, to care, and to step forward with courage. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Powerful Views. If you appreciate this content, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. Until next time, I'm your host, Karan Gandhi, signing off. Keep safe and stay happy.